I think that's good. Somewhat synchronized. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Mostly Finished Thoughts.
We've just synchronized our claps.
Yes. What you guys don't get to hear is that right before we say hello, we both have to clap at once. Today was a challenge.
It's my favorite part of the week when I get to see Alanna counting for a clap and me trying to 3, 2, do we clap at 1?
You can see the wheels turning in his head while I'm counting down.
I'm a musician. I should know how to clap. And then... yeah.
And then no.
Mostly confused. For you, it's mostly finished thoughts. For me, it's mostly confused monkey noises.
How are you?
Alanna, Matty? We did the same thing.
Oh, we did the same thing at the same time. Crumbs. This is so nice because we got to chat last week. And now we get to chat this week again because we're doing it every week now. And that's very exciting. So there's actually an episode coming out this Friday. Today, by the way, we keep not doing this. Today is Tuesday, August the 10th.
Yes.
And there is an episode coming out this Friday. So episode 6 is coming out this Friday. Episode 7 comes out next Friday. And we are currently recording episode 8. So we're still a couple of weeks in the past. Which is fine. It gives me some time to sort things out. But maybe eventually we'll see how it goes doing it every week. And then we can decide if we want to do 2 releases in the same week. And then, I have a visitor. Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see. There's a little dapper boy.
One moment. I'm stuck.
There's a little Clive. Oh, that is the cutest thing. Clive is just looking at the door. He's now making a grand entrance. He is not in a hurry, Mr. Clive. He saunters in. That dog was not in a hurry to get in.
No, not at all. But he would sit out there and bark until, or not. He doesn't really bark. He just muffs. He does these little
By the way, the video of him diving is one of my favorite things I've seen in a long while.
So we went to a cottage with Ghost's family, with Eddie's family a couple weeks ago. And they go every year, and we haven't been up in a while. And the last time that we went, Clive used to, he loves to swim, but he mainly loves to lifeguard. So they have, Eddie's sister has 3 daughters. And whenever they're in the water, Clive has to be in the water with them. And he'll panic if he can't get into the water with them. Clive has his legs are 5 inches long.
Yeah,
they're so short. But he thinks that he can rescue them or save them. So he'll swim around them to try and get them to come back in or whatever. But they were jumping off the end of the dock. And so he was panicking because he's like, oh my God, they're jumping off the end of the dock. And it took him a little while before he realized that he could also jump off of the end of the dock.
His Baywatch dive. With his little life vest on as well. Oh.
Yeah, it's very good. And he only has the life jacket on because he can't get back up from the dock there. Yeah. He has to swim. We'll find somewhere to post it, but there's a longer video of him jumping in, and then he has to swim all the way around a boat and back into the shore before he can then book it down the dock to then dive into the water again. Yeah. So it's just a system. And at a certain point I had to take him inside because he's just he won't stop. He doesn't realize how exhausted he is. Even with the life jacket on, he's struggling. And my poor nieces are oh, we just want Clive to come in the water with us. And I'm he can't. He's going to kill himself in the water if I don't put him inside. He will just keep. He doesn't know when to chill. He just gets too panicked. He's like, no, the girls are in the water. I must be in the water also.
I had no relations to corgis before your stream.
Mm-hmm.
I never considered Corgi like a cute dog until I saw Clive. And now I realize that there's also Corgi in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There is. Cheddar.
Yeah, Cheddar the dog.
Yeah, they look very similar.
Yes, both very
Clive
dapper
is also
boys.
an exceptionally good-looking corgi. There are some weird-looking corgis out there.
Striking.
Clive is quite a handsome boy. Anyways, dogs. I can't remember if we were talking about anything else. Hello, welcome to Mostly Finished Thoughts. Yes. My name is Alanna Matty. I have a dog named Clive.
My name is Theodor Elfving, and I don't own a dog anymore.
Did you name the wasp in your bedroom?
Oh. So a few episodes ago, I was talking about my phobia of wasps. And my wife has been out of town this past weekend. And I was at a dinner, and I came home Friday night. I went into my bedroom, and I heard zzz. I went, oh, no. So I've been sleeping on the couch for the past days. I didn't name him. He doesn't deserve a name. I was too scared.
I feel like if you named him, maybe you'd be less scared of him. No?
Or I gave him more power. By giving him a name, I acknowledge his power. Now I just blanked him. My number one fear was that he or she, I don't want to or they're probably he's, I guess they're half queens. Anywho, Swedish man thinks about wasps. What was I saying? My biggest fear was that he was going to build a nest in there. And I would come And Eva yesterday in chat said, you say Friday? Oh, well, it's only a handball-sized net at this point. No.
Oh, my God.
No, Eva.
What a troll.
But now I'd say everything's coming up Millhouse. Wife is back. Life is back to normal.
Nice.
So it's an interesting weekend, and now life is slowly becoming normal.
That's good.
How was your weekend? You had a huge celebration on Friday.
I did on Saturday, actually.
It was Saturday, of course.
I celebrated being on Twitch for 2 whole years.
That is a while. Congratulations on 2 years.
Thank you.
That is insane.
It is very surreal and very strange to think about. One of my lovely mods asked me during the party, what are a couple of things that I learned this year?
Yeah.
Because they also asked me that last year after doing the 1 year. I don't remember my answers now because I streamed for 7 hours, so most of that is just completely gone from my brain.
7 hours.
But I do. It was a long time. I do recall saying that I have learned how to be more proud of myself, and that's something that's definitely true. Is having to, we talk a lot about the comparison beast. We're going to talk about him today, but the something that does combat that, or at least combats the cousin of the comparison beast, which is the need for validation that we have on a consistent basis as performers, as streamers. But being proud of yourself can actually kind of combat that, because you're not looking for that from other people. You're looking for it from yourself. And so if you can be proud of yourself for sitting down, and I find that, I've always also translated that into the streams that are the best for me are the streams where I just get lost in the music. And so it's the streams where I think I sound the best. So it might have nothing to do with how many people were there or donations or subs or any of that stuff. But it's just those days where it's just I feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Those are the best days. And I feel like those things go hand in hand, right? It's just being proud of how far I've come as a musician, how far I've come as a streamer, and just being proud of continuing to sit down on that bench every week and do the thing.
I was talking to a friend about going down to the mines, the creativity mine, or just performing mine, that you'll have days where it feels like an endless struggle and nothing happens music wise, and then you'll have days where you go, wow, I hit the mother load and now I suddenly have all these things, ideas, or
yeah
But it is a grind, and just sticking it out. Mm-hmm. Even when it gets rough, because the reward for when you stick it through is just incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It's I don't know. I think it's hard to continue doing something. So like people say that like, oh, starting is the hardest. Starting is not hard. Starting is easy. Like, I mean, I would say relatively speaking, actually, because starting is really difficult. You know, like a lot of times people, and I tell people this all the time, that when they're like, oh, I want to start streaming, I'm like, just do it then. Yeah. And they get stuck on like, oh, well, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's like, no, you don't need any of that. You just need to start. You just need to start, and the rest will come. Like, trust me, you will never, ever stop buying gear. Even when you think that you've got all the gear, you will buy more gear. I promise. Like, that will all come later. You just need to start. But then I think that once you get past that starting hurdle, it's hard to keep going. It's hard to take, you know, the 5th step, the 6th step, the 25th step, the 50th step, the 200th step. Those are harder than taking the first 3. You know, like that's convincing yourself or realizing that it is something that you want to dedicate to, that you want to continue to. We tried to calculate it, and I think I have done somewhere in the realm of 350 streams.
That is a lot. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's almost a full year worth of streaming.
Yeah. Which is crazy. It's just under that. Because I haven't, you know, I don't stream every other day. I don't stream every day, but there are days where I stream, you know, 4 times a week. And so it adds up.
It's incredible. Yeah. What's his name? Is it Daniel Wayne, who has streamed
every day
nonstop for almost 4 years soon?
He
had 1,000 a while back. 1,000 days.
I think he's hit 3,000.
That would mean 10 years.
No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. I can tell. I'm going to look. Because he always has his... the
counter in his name,
the counter in the name of his stream. His VODs.
But I think I saw him.
He's on day number 1,316.
1,000. That is... Yep.
Yeah.
That is
I have
commitment.
so much respect. I don't know how.
I can't even begin to grasp. Like, no. I need at least 2 full days of reloading. Mm-hmm. Doing it consecutively for 7 days a week. 52 years. 52 years. 52 weeks.
52 years.
52 years. The man is a legend. He went into a time machine, streamed, went back. But it's
he wasn't happy with how that stream went, so he went back in time, did it again. Oh my god!
But do you feel you need? Do you have time cut out for you when you relax and reload? That, dear listeners, is a no. That is the sound of someone trying to say yes, but no.
So the problem is that I don't know. I don't have time cut out. And I think that I should, but something, and maybe, I don't know if you have felt this as well. This is equal parts an internal struggle and an external struggle for me. Because it's like, I have a bad habit of trying to compensate for people. So guessing kind of what people are thinking or what people want and trying to wrap my behaviors around what they, you know, I'm just always trying to freaking make people happy. And so sometimes I try to like be a step ahead. But I've also had people say this directly to me before, you know, like that it's difficult for me to say, no, I streamed today, so I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and do this. And like it was easier through COVID because you couldn't go and do anything.
Yeah.
But there were still, you know, like we were playing games on Discord or having like Zoom dates with friends and like, you know, lots of other things, and also work. You know, I used to have days when I was working full time. My Wednesdays was like, I'd get up, I'd work out, I'd work at my job for an hour and a half. I would stream for 4 hours. I would go back to work. and then I would teach, and then I would have dinner, and then I would fall apart. But like, it was usually it's like after dinner, I'm more chill. I try not to do anything, but it is difficult for me to say like, okay, today I'm not doing anything. Today is my recharge day, because as soon as I'm not streaming, it's like, oh, well, now people can make plans with me. And I have a hard time saying like, for example, we saw friends on Sunday. Saturday, I streamed for 7 hours. I saw my cousin on Friday night, which was like a last minute thing. She just happened to be in town from like across the country. Saturday, I streamed for 7 hours. Sunday, I should have just relaxed, but we had friends who wanted to get brunch with us that we haven't been able to see in like 6 months because of COVID or whatever. Like they haven't been in our house. We've lived here for over a year and they've never been in our house because of COVID. So like now that we're all vaccinated, it was like, we can finally have you over. So like we had like those plans, and then those plans spawned into like our other friends who live up the street who we're all like mutual friends with. Then they ended up coming over. So I ended up socializing for like the entirety of Sunday. And then it's like, well, there goes my recharge day, because I can't say, and I don't think people would take it very well if I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry, I have to rain check our plans because I streamed for 7 hours yesterday. People don't necessarily understand how exhausting that is. So long story for a short answer, which is just like, no, I have a hard time with that, because I have a hard time telling people like, no, I can't work on XYZ, or no, I can't socialize. And this is why I'm burnt out all the time. I don't take that time.
The spoon thing the other day. Someone asked me to hang out, and I went, I'm sorry, I don't have the spoons.
Nice. Good for you.
Full on, I can't. I don't have any spoons for that. And they went, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Take care of yourself. No hard feelings. It was wonderful.
That's amazing. And I think most of my friends would be like that. Yeah. Like if I were to say like, hey, I just can't. But I have it's hard. It's hard to do what you did. And I'm proud of you for doing that, because I should do that more often. And I don't.
It is so weird socializing now. Or just, it gives me not anxiety, but I get somewhat anxious about meeting people now and having that whole, I used to feel somewhat savvy with like social skills before COVID, and like I knew how to talk to people. But I just remember like a year ago I was at the beach with some friends, social distancing, and someone was talking and asking questions, and I went, why aren't the people replying? And then I realized they were asking me, but I couldn't read the group because I hadn't interacted with like humans in such a long time. So just the thought of, and I had to send a mail the other day to someone asking for a gig, and I went, how do I, because a lot of the people I speak to now are either interested in what I do and they're reaching out to ask for work, or it's members of the community. So I know like everyone, and I do, what kind of tone do I have in a social message? It ended up with, hello, good sir.
Wow, very nice.
And it seems like that gig is going to go through, so.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely. Do you find, I have a petty complaint that goes from before COVID, but I feel like it's almost gotten worse now because people have lost those social norms.
Yeah.
But do you have those friends that don't ask questions?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, now that you're saying it, it's like glass shattering. Going, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny because I had that with my cousin on Friday, and we were talking about exactly this, about how like, socializing is so much more difficult now. And she's like, oh, well, I've always been really bad at socializing. Like, I don't know how to small talk. Like, I don't know how to ask the right questions. Yeah. And as soon as she said that, because there had been so much awkward silence, and I felt bad because I felt like I was driving the conversation, because I kept being the one to ask, like,
oh God.
Oh, how's this? Oh, how's this? Oh, what did you end up doing with this? Oh, I saw you post this on Instagram. Like, I'm trying to probe a conversation to comment. And then I end up feeling bad because I'm the one like asking all the time. But I texted my brother afterwards because I ended up leaving like kind of early. And I texted him like, hey, like, how was the rest of the night? He's like, oh my God, it was so awkward after you left because you were the only one who knew how to get her to talk. thought it was funny that she was self-aware that she's bad at asking these questions, but then doesn't like, I don't know, like doesn't
like having a weird date where you're going, so what do you do for work? Well, I do this. Yep. Oh, well, okay then.
Yeah, and then they don't ask anything back, and it's like, I feel like for us too, because we're rather public, you know, like there's lots of little things that you can pick up on and ask questions to, and maybe I don't know, I don't know why I'm good at that. I just I like listening to people, maybe, so like I remember things and I'll ask the right questions, but I'm not sure. It definitely gets frustrating though when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop talking, like I'm gonna stop asking, and you're gonna talk, and then I'm not gonna say anything afterwards, and we're gonna see what happens.
I've loved that since I was a kid, like listening to adults talk and just learning about people. When my dad and mom brought us to like dinner parties, me and my brother, we would always sit with the adults. The other kids were playing, and me and my brother would sit in silence and just listen to the grown-ups talk. And I still like love talking to people. There's a dude in this town who is, I think he's one of the best pipe makers in the world. He has won awards.
What
and
kind of pipe? Like a musical pipe? Like a smoking
briar
pipe?
Pipes, the smoking kind.
Oh,
so he makes it like handcrafted in his workshop. Mm-hmm. And I think I spent 4 hours one night at a pub just talking to him about like how it works. Like how does the business work? So you have like meetups where they go to Boston and they bring their finest specimen. And they have and just listening to this dude talk about the things he's passionate about. It's one of the best things ever.
I fully agree. And people love to talk about themselves, right? So like if you can get them into talking about something that they're passionate about and you enjoy listening to it, you know that they're enjoying talking about it and you're enjoying listening to it.
Which is also fun as a streamer when people are active in chat, where you go, okay, so this is a person who I don't know, who I'm now learning things about. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, I think, or somewhat.
It's definitely really similar, for sure. Subtle.
I feel like what's his name? Chocolate Rain. I move away from the mic to inhale.
I have no idea what that guy's name is.
Tay Sunday. There we go. It was there somewhere in the back of the brain. Do you remember Chocolate Rain? My wife had never heard the song.
Really? I remember the
how
video.
have you not heard? It was everywhere when YouTube started.
It was. Sorry. My building, I swear, has sent me 4 or 5 emails in the last couple of weeks being like, we're testing this. We're doing this. Annual this thing.
What are they testing?
Now this time it is a backflow prevention test.
Oh. How do they test?
We're going to have no water at some point between 2 and 5 p.m. on Tuesday.
Oh, well, that's okay. So it's almost, have you ever had like the relining and what's it called in English? Stambyte, where they change like the whole plumbing system of a building? That's fun.
No, I've never had that.
Oh, that's peak. Peak when you realize how dependent you are on water.
Oh yeah.
So they shut off the main water for like days, and you can't use anything. Wow. And you go, oh well, this is fun.
That's very interesting. Guess you're like ordering in food and stuff for days.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Just like now. No.
Yeah. Yeah, really. This is just gonna make me hungry. So we were chatting a little bit before we started.
Yes.
Talking about I feel like the last couple of streams we've talked a lot about anxiety.
And it sure came to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a real bad weekend, mental health wise. It felt like there's a storm brewing, like an old sailor. I can feel it in my knees. And then it came down just like a heavy storm. So I had a panic attack on Friday. And then I just lay on the couch for the remainder of the weekend, which I think was good as well. I had some deep thinking to do and some introspection to do, I guess. I feel a lot better now. And it was also like because Fel wasn't here. And I can usually just distract myself with being silly with her. But when there was no one here, left to my own device, doom scrolling Twitter going, why, Theo? Why did you do that in 7th grade? It was the whole show, you know, when it's from birth to, you go, oh no, I've done that. Oh no. Mm-hmm. So it was fun. I think it was like a spring cleaning for the brain.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst weekends I've ever had. But it feels a lot better now. And just having the knowledge that it will pass feels amazing. And also terrible, because you have those both parts of your brain, like the rational part going, this is just imaginary. You don't have to be scared. And then the other part going full on boss music. Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. And you go, okay, well.
I'm so sorry that you had that. You said that you felt like you were like, you had too little butter spread on too much toast.
Yeah, it's a quote from The Hobbit. Mm-hmm. It's when they're asking Bilbo in his old age, how do you feel? I feel like too little butter spread on too much toast. And that is a great way of explaining mental health, or like mental fatigue. Because you want to do all these things, as we were talking about, meet friends, have a wonderful social life, and do things. And then you go, oh, I need to do the dishes. And you just crash. You just go, nope. There's no spoons.
Yeah. There's no spoons. Yeah. Everything takes spoons. No, so like the thing with mental health is that you always want there to be a reason. Like you want there to be oh, this happened, and so this is the reaction, when reality is that it's exactly that. It's like a whole bunch of like, you're just losing spoons over the period of however long, and then eventually you're out, and then you break down.
You suddenly open the dishwasher and you're out of spoons, and you go, where did all the spoons? Who took all the spoons?
Yeah, you finally do the dishes, and then you open the dishwasher, and there's still no spoons in there. And you're like, hey, man, that's not fair.
It feels very weird, but I think it's cumulative. The amount of things over the past few weeks has been, and we've had some family things as well that has happened. It's been weighing on my head, and I've just been trying to like power through. I'm thinking, well, if I only get some distance to it, and then of course it'll catch back up to you. And also, taking care of, as I've said, my not the dental health, but the mental health. Not brushing my mental teeth, and being thorough with meditation and stuff like that. But it's just such a weird thing. I feel better now, but I still feel like fatigued.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might take some days off streaming just to like balance out, and actually perhaps go meet some friends and have like a picnic in the park and do like human stuff. Because I've been feeling a lot like Guitar Monkey.
Yeah.
I think just some perspective would be good.
Yeah, I think, and there's something to be said for reigniting the excitement. Yeah. So like when you take a break from streaming, you're more excited to come back later.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you feel this, but like, and it's like, I'm going to tell this story. And as I'm thinking about the story in my head, I realize how ridiculous what I was thinking at the time is. But at the time, you don't think of it as being ridiculous. It seems logical.
It's true.
But basically, like, a couple of weeks ago, on a Wednesday, we went to the gym, and we're going to talk about periods briefly. I don't often get like cramps. It doesn't happen. But if it does happen, it's catastrophic, like really, really, really bad. And I hadn't got my period yet. I was like, okay, we're going to go to the gym. It should be fine. And we're on the treadmill, and I can feel my pelvic muscles seizing. Oh. So basically I ended up like passing out on the floor of the lobby of the gym.
What?
I left the class, tried to pull myself together, couldn't pull myself together, ended up having to make my way to I was literally sitting on the floor in front of the front desk of this gym with cold sweats, passing out, which I'm not a stranger to fainting. I've fainted a lot. But it still sucks. It sucks every time. And your mental, by the way. What? No stranger to fainting?
Yeah.
I don't write it down.
Sorry.
But it still sucks. And you're doing, at least for me, I do these mental gymnastics when I feel it coming on, where I'm no, there's a voice in my head that's nope. You're not going to pass out. Yeah. It's going to be fine. You're going to pull yourself back around. Theo's losing his mind.
Why is the brain trying to justify being sick or just going,
I don't know.
But no, you can't be sick now because you have to do this thing. And no, I'm that is incredible. I'm glad I'm not the only one having those thoughts.
Oh, totally. And then so I wanted to stream. I was supposed to stream a few hours later. And of course, once I came to, I was fine. I was still a little out of it, but I was mostly fine. I took an Advil when I got home to make the pain go away. And then I sat on the couch for a bit and I'm oh, you know what? Maybe I'll stream. And so I posted in Discord. I'm not going to stream. I'm going to stream later. I had a bad time this morning, so I'm not going to stream right now. I'm going to stream later. But it's so hard. I'm sitting on the couch
because you're
convincing myself that I have to stay on the couch because I'm not okay. Yeah. But in the back of my head, I'm I've canceled too many streams lately. People aren't going to feel bad for me anymore. I need to and it's not that I need people to feel bad for me, but it's more that when someone is really, really consistent and then they take a day off, everyone's yeah, get it. Take the time for you, whatever. Whereas July was such a mess that I had canceled a bunch of streams. I was still relatively consistent, but I felt I'd canceled so much. And now on this day when I my body physically gave up. My body and brain gave up on the floor of Orange Theory. And I'm sitting on the couch going, no, I should stream.
Yeah, this is... No, this is...
Stop!
It's but a flesh wound.
Yeah, and you just reach this point where it's and this is the burnout cycle, right? Is that you are burnt out. You have those days where you feel super tired. And then some days you wake up and you're I feel great.
Yeah.
And then you're oh, I'm just going to go right back to normal. But it's you're still not okay. You're still not recovered. You just are having a good day.
Yeah. Just hearing this, perhaps, I should take those days off and just go, perhaps I should just rebalance, recalibrate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I told you, I think, as well, and as I was typing it to you, I thought, this is good advice. The rest until you feel rested, not rest until you think you should be done.
Which was the perfect advice for me that day. And that's why I didn't end up streaming. I took the day off, but it was that was that, and that's the advice you should give to yourself.
Yeah. It's just, I should have a forward to myself, but have a delay. And have a spoof email address.
Pin all the advice that you give to me in our Twitch chat. Just pin it, and then when you're feeling bad, go look at the pinned advice you gave me and give it to yourself.
Wow, that is yeah. But it's so weird. Yeah, it's a whole heap of things in your brain happening where you try to justify going, no, but it's only physical, and I can power through this, and it will be good. No. Just take some time off. The world doesn't start and stop because you stop doing your work for one day.
Where do you think that comes from? Is that something that's is that a mentality that is in your family, or is it a cultural thing?
I think it's very much part from my family. Now that I think about it, yeah. And I also I played a lot of, what's it called, hooky growing up, where I tried to ditch school.
Yeah.
And now I have I'm trying to overcompensate for being a slack growing up. So like taking time off now, it's like if I was feeling like this when I was 15, I would just go, no, hell no, I'm not going to school.
Yeah.
And now it's just, but it's fine. But I think, yeah, and I was talking to Fel last night about that as well, that I've stopped doing a lot of like self-harm things. Not in the self-harm, like cutting myself, but like drinking, excessive drinking, smoking, partying, like trying to get away from the anxiety part. Instead of facing and going, okay, what do I need to do to handle this? So I think I need to like I guess I need got to find me a therapist.
Yes, absolutely. I've been seeing a therapist for a while now. And I talk to her once a month, even if I feel like I'm fine. And I can't remember if I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but she made me laugh because there's often the days that I talk to her are days that I'm okay, or at least that I feel like I'm okay. And there was kind of like 2 sessions in a row where I felt more okay than previously, and she made me laugh because in the second session, she's like, so just a reminder, like, you were very not okay when we spoke last time. And I'm like, oh. Oops. I don't think I even realized that was a thing. But you don't, it's not until, and I think the most valuable thing with therapy, at least speaking personally, like when I started going, I thought it was going to be like, I'm going to tell you my life story and then you're going to tell me what's wrong with me. But that's not what they do. They are the best question askers in the world. Like, they just force you to think about things in a completely different light. And it's been so valuable to me to have someone that, you know, she's not sitting there going like, oh, well, you have this condition or you have this condition or whatever. She's just helping me figure out what my brain is doing and figure out how to... and figure out how to work with myself. You know, you kind of fight yourself by accident a lot because you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't think this way or I shouldn't do this or blah, blah, blah. And they're very helpful in like helping you gain perspective and think about things differently and work through things differently. So highly recommend. Yeah.
I went to therapy growing up to cope with my childhood trauma. No.
Sure.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I shouldn't joke about it, and I shouldn't talk about it in. It's weird because if you don't say what it is, it makes people guess. Okay, so we'll do it like this. Okay, so my dad and my mom divorced in a non-healthy way when I was 12, and that made my whole world crash. And then I had to go see with someone to make sense of the world again. And we moved, and the whole like everything just went to hell. And that is like my memory of therapy. So now I think I just need to like go in with adult eyes and go, yes, hello, I have these issues. Like if my car broke down, I would go, or bike, I would go, hello, I have these issues. How do I fix?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I also need like to improve my toolbox. It feels like I'm missing tools.
Yes.
Because I've seen other people's toolboxes, and they can handle things. Yeah. Faucet is leaking, they can fix that. For me, it's just leaking until, and okay, more buckets? No.
Yeah.
Whole bathroom is not filled with buckets. How? Okay, yeah.
The first time that when I first started going to therapy, I actually saw something called a cognitive behavioral therapist, CBT. And I'm such a doer. Like, I'm such a, like, I'm very tactile. I'm always doing something with my hands. Today I am twisting my headphone cable like crazy around my fingers. And so I was like, I need to go to someone who's going to give me homework. I need to have something that I can like tangibly do. And I even said to her, I said literally what you just said, like, I don't have tools and I need tools to be able to deal with things. And she was very helpful. I ended up switching to seeing someone else who's just like a normal psychotherapist now, but she also still gives me the tools, and it's very useful. So yeah, because
like what we said with you feeling like you had to stream even though you were not physically capable, because it made sense at the time. When you're stuck in a rut mentally, all makes sense for you at that time going, no, but this is how you should feel. And then when you have a perspective and go, what was I thinking? How could I be feeling that way and think that was normal?
Yeah.
Funsies.
Exactly. Yeah. My camera won't focus for some reason, and it's making me crazy. Whatever.
The music is always something that helps me a lot when I'm feeling down, like listening to favorite songs. A lot of Conor Oberst for me. Bright Eyes, that whole I'm Wide Awake album. I'm Wide Awake, it's morning. It makes me level out and makes me go, okay, I've been here before. And I don't need to stay down as long.
Music makes me feel things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's why I don't listen to music very often. And it sounds bonkers as a musician, but like I just don't. I don't listen to music very often. Sometimes I blame it on the fact that, I work in sound design. And so when while most people are doing their office jobs or doing like paperwork or doing whatever, they can listen to music. Yeah. I can't listen to anything. I have to just listen to the sounds that I'm designing, which limits the amount of
of course,
opportunity that I have to listen to music. But it's also because I don't know. I'm very bad at feeling things. This is why I started going to therapy. I'm terrible at feeling things. I am just a solid neutral all the time. It's like I can get excited. Like I feel like I can lean towards happier emotions, but I have a very hard time feeling anything else. But music always makes me cry. It makes me cry. It makes me angry. It makes me laugh. Like music can manipulate my emotions more than anything else. Like I can see sad things happen. I can tell a sad story. I can be part of sad things or super happy things, and I won't feel it as much as if I sit down and listen to a song, and then all of a sudden that song helps me sort my thoughts and my feelings in a way, and then all of a sudden I'm just freaking sobbing.
Yeah. Big agree.
Yeah.
Also same thing, like I Fel watches movies and she cries a lot, like watching movies. She can really get into that feeling what they're feeling, and I go, yeah, this is sad. And then you hear a song and go, oh my god, no.
Yeah. Maybe it's a musician thing. Do you get really choked up for like theme songs or like songs from movies?
Yep. And especially like if there's a movie, I know you haven't watched Scrubs, but there's an episode there that is just every time I cry every time. And even when I hear the song, I don't have to see the episode. I can hear the song and I'll still have those feelings of, oh my god.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yeah. That memory. I find it's even like I'll cry for like trailers.
Wow.
Like movie trailers, depending on what it is. And it's just the emotion that comes with the song or like the theme music. I remember like when the reboot of Star Wars, not reboot, sorry, it's not a reboot. When the newer Star Wars came out, and it was a big deal because there hadn't been Star Wars movies in X amount of years. I didn't grow up with Star Wars. I watched them super late in comparison to like most people. Like I watched them in my 20s, all of them. Whereas for a lot of people, it's like childhood nostalgia, whatever. It wasn't like that for me. And yet sitting in the theater when that big opening starts, I'm like choked up. Even it's just the music, I don't know. It's just a gut punch.
It's John Williams though, so it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
We used the episode 4 medal ceremony for our exit music from the church. Mm-hmm. So every time I hear that song, my tugs it on the heartstrings. Mm-hmm. I sent an email to our minister the other day because he was amazing, our priest. David, if you're listening, thank you once again. I don't think he's listening. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that he'll hear this, but because he was such a great dude. When we booked the church, they went, you need to have a meeting with the minister. Why? You know, just to see if you should be married. Pardon?
Okay.
Do we have to come to his office and prove that we love each other? Yes.
Are you guys part of that church? Are you religious at all? Because I know that's often for like, if you're part of that church, then the priest has to be like, yes, okay. But I didn't know that they would do that otherwise.
Immediately committed to the Swedish church when you're born in Sweden, and you pay church tax. So you're allowed to use Swedish churches unless you like tell them that no, I don't want to be a part of your thing anymore.
That are you baptized?
No. It's just no. You've been born in Sweden, thusly you're a part of Svenska kyrkan.
Huh.
But they do a lot of good things, like missionary things and help the homeless and stuff like that. So we thought,
sorry, I have so many questions for you. Continue. Tell your story first. I've got them banked.
So we thought, well, we'll use the church. And my sister got married in a church. She had like a big church wedding, and it was amazing. And that was like my princess wedding. Fell wanted to be wed in like the courthouse. And I said, no, it has to be a church. And then we compromised, and she said, Star Wars wedding in the church. And I said, fine. And our minister, but he was amazing. And then he asked us some questions when we were in his office. And he went, is it okay if I sing my prayers for you? And I went, what? No, I'm into Gregorian chanting. Would it be okay if I chanted the prayer? Of course. And he also said during the ceremony, there would be a clerical error if it didn't say, may the force be with you. And that was unrehearsed, and we didn't know. And then he also printed, because we had the Corinthian things, the love is kind, love is not envious things. So our marriage certificate is, he made like some art and wrote that poem or that passage from the Bible.
Oh,
it's incredible. Wow. And he handed that to us during our wedding. I'm almost crying now thinking about it. So I had to say, because I was walking by a church, and I went, I should really tell that dude that we're doing, because he also said, please let me know in a few years if you're still together and if you're happy. So I thought, I'll send him an email and thank him for a wonderful sermon.
Yeah, you should. That'd be really nice.
He was very happy about it. So you had questions about the Swedish church?
I do. More about like, so I think something that a lot of people don't think about is because of the internet, it's easy to, you know that countries are different and that countries have differences from each other, but there's certain things that like you don't necessarily realize are like subtle differences between countries. I think about this a lot with Canada and the States because we're right next to each other, and because a lot of times people group us together. Oh. Do not group us together, please.
Alanna's not doing this passionate spice finger.
Don't do it. Because like we are similar, but we are not the same. But I find it fascinating to learn about how other countries do things, especially in comparison. Obviously, I only really know Canada. And so it's like, so you have a church in Sweden. Yeah. Are there other churches? Are there other kinds of churches for different religions?
There are a lot of, we have freedom of religion in Sweden as well. Okay. And then there's like,
I figured, but
Svenska kyrkan, which is a Swedish church, and there's a lot of like branches of that as well. With Pingst, I don't know what that's called in English, and there's a lot of like not sects, but like other devout religions of that. Mm-hmm. But it's also very secular Sweden. It's always been very like church and state is very separated, and they should they shouldn't influence each other. Mm-hmm. I think that's how we operate. And then the Swedish church does a lot of like outreach for the youth and stuff like that. That's why I'm still a member of. And my dad used to take me to the missionary when I was 10 to make sandwiches and food for the homeless.
Oh, nice.
Which was very good for young Theo to see that people are people.
People are people. Yeah, I think that's something that I learned just by living in a city. Like I've lived in Toronto pretty much my whole life. And even when I wasn't living here, we were coming here pretty much every day. And so I have always had perspective on, or like I've just always had so many different kinds of people from all different walks of life around me, like all different race, all different wealth levels, like And I'm so grateful for that, just because there's people that I know, people that I've met that didn't have that growing up. I had to learn it later in life, or, you know.
Yeah, it's a and then there's two options. You either wake up from it and go, okay, there are people, or you just continue with your bigoted mindset and go, nope, me.
Well, exactly. So it's, I don't know, I think there's something about living in a city, and specifically living in parts of cities that aren't super wealthy.
Yeah.
That can,
when there's a mix of people.
Yeah.
When you're not living gated.
You get to like learn from different types of people, and I think that's just super, super valuable. Anyways, that was my question. I was just so curious about that, because here you don't have to be involved with religion in any way.
Okay,
if you don't want to. It's completely separate, I think. And like, I could be wrong here, but I think like the biggest thing that we have that is connected with like church and state is, at least in my province, we have both public schools and Catholic schools.
Oh.
Why? I don't know. Do you have to be Catholic to go to Catholic school? No. But they're both publicly funded. And but they have separate school boards. So there's a public school board and there's a Catholic school board. It's free to go to either of them.
Okay.
There used to be rules where you had to be members of a church in order to go to Catholics, but I've known so many people that have gone to Catholic school that didn't, because somehow a lot of Catholic schools are better education-wise, are ranked higher than the public schools. And the main difference is that like you have to take a religion course and you have to pray multiple times a day, I think. But it's like,
that's a deal breaker.
it's a very strange thing that for some reason we have, and this is just until you're 14. Like, it's just for like, oh no, actually that's not true, because there are also Catholic high schools. So you could be in a free Catholic school until you were 18. But yeah, it's it's very strange. In my personal opinion, I don't think that they should exist. I think that they should be like, they shouldn't be funded by the government / maybe they should just be ruled by the same school board. Like, it's a very strange in our society where you don't have to be religious and where like it's not that big of a deal one way or the other. It feels weird. It just feels like a strange relic of the past that has just never gone away.
It feels so weird with like religious people and being spiritual. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like people who are spiritual and like mindfulness and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But the people who are, we can just cut this out. This won't be a good tangent. I can feel it now.
Just go for it. We'll make a marker.
Because the people who really say that they are like devout Christians or whatever religion, they are often the worst people. Or so I've in my life, the people who have been like the most pious have also been like the biggest bigots.
And you know what, I think like, as much as that is a bit of a hot take, I think that there are a lot of people that are Catholic and who are devout and religious who fight against that as well.
Of course,
but their voices are always going to be much quieter than the other voices. And I think that's what leads to that kind of opinion, right? Is that like your experience and the vast majority has been X. Yeah. And that's
because they've been vocal about their faith as well.
Exactly, because they've been vocal. And there are plenty of good people of all different types of religions, but they're not the ones that are causing outrage. They're not the ones that are DMing you about your behaviors or, you know, XYZ.
Oh, the thing I sent you about the truth. Mm-hmm. The Instagram DM I got. Wow.
Yeah.
Like those are the people who can just you don't have to contact me. It's I have my own truth. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. And like, I know lots of people on both sides of the religious and not religious or spiritual and whatnot. And like, but the thing is that, of course, like the people that I've chosen to surround myself with are people who are very positive, people who aren't trying to, you know,
convert you or shame you for your behaviors. They're just living their best lives and making their best choices and not, forcing it on you. But if, I wouldn't let people that were into my life. Why?
I guess that's a good mindset with everything. Like just being not a good Christian, but just a decent person. And just like, you have your opinions, I have mine. I won't try to force them upon you unless you ask me about my opinions. Did I tell you how I got into meditation? I don't know if I've...
I don't think so. I don't think you told me the origin. I know you've been meditating.
I have a cousin who's from Vienna. And she went to Tibet.
Tibet,
yeah. Tibet in Sweden.
Now you're going to make me question it. I just recently learned that I've been saying decal correctly, but I've always thought that I was saying it wrong. I thought it was decal, and I was saying decal, and it was wrong. But turns out I was right this whole time. Anyways, continue. Tibet, I believe.
So she went to Nepal. There we go.
Okay.
And there she met a man who was a British national who moved to Nepal to become a monk. And they are since married. And I had never met my cousin until a few years ago when I met her in Stockholm at my dad's place. And they're both practicing Buddhists. And they were like the nicest people. Calm, just friendly, super duper social, friendly. And I asked him, the monk, about like, so why do you meditate? What's the purpose? And he went, well, it's just a good way to... And he said, like, it's if you're sitting in a boat and you're trying to look down through the water at the bottom, if there's a lot of movement, you can see to the bottom. But if you keep still in the boat and you just keep looking, you'll see the bottom. Mm-hmm. I went, oh my God, I've never heard that.
That's a good one.
That's like introspection, that. Going like, if you just keep still for a while, you can see what's really happening. Mm-hmm. So then I tried after that. But that was me asking him about his faith and his practicing of it. He never said a word like, you should try this.
Yeah. I think you're right when you say that it's just good people, and trying to surround yourself with good people who aren't trying to force their ideologies on you.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're treading very carefully around dangerous waters, but I think that also does cause issue from time to time, because you end up in echo chambers, which has been a big hot topic for the last couple of years with social media, and especially in politics, but also in religion, also in just lifestyle, right? Yeah. If you're surrounded by people that think the way that you do and believe the things that you do, you're going to believe that you're in the right, or that you're normal, I guess. We had an election here, I can't remember if it was the federal election or provincial election. But we have one of our smaller parties here is often very popular with kind of the younger-ish generations. They're a lot more, they're not like, we have two parties that basically just like alternate who's in power, and then we have a couple of like smaller parties, and one of them is very popular with younger people. And because of my social media, and because a lot of the people that I follow were supporting that party, because a lot of the people, like, I was supporting that party, and they were sharing stuff from other people who were supporting that party, it really seemed like they had a chance. Like, it really seemed like there was a decent opportunity that they were going to do. I think it was the provincial election that they were going to do really well. They did fine, but they didn't win. And like it, but I do think that they came in second, which is very rare that they would beat out one of the other parties. But because of the kind of echo chamber, because of that, we had no idea what other people were thinking necessarily. Because it looked so much like, oh no, like he's got it. He's gonna. And I mean, I guess
the algorithm caters to you as well, or to that thing, just pushing more content on that you would like.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like that, that will result in, when we're, for our own mental health and for our own well-being, we don't want to interact with people that are going to shove whatever down our throats and try and influence us in one way or the other. And so we separate ourselves from that. We distance ourselves from that. But that person is probably also doing the same thing from people that differ from their opinions. And so we just end up in these two separate camps and never talk to each other. No.
Do you ever venture onto Twitter and just check out what's brewing in the old asshole camp?
Oh, gosh. I try not to. I try not to doom scroll, mainly because I have a very hard time with things that I cannot control. And that's not to say that I am a control freak like in my life. It's more that like when things are too big for me to be able to interact with, I'm just angry and I can't do anything with that anger. I just have to look at the assholes and be like, well, you exist.
Yes.
Cool.
Didn't know these opinions existed. Cool.
Do you doom scroll off? Like, do you like where do you what are your guilty dives?
Oh, it's Swedish politics. Mm-hmm. Going to the people, because the people who are people who don't want foreigners here. Okay. Xenophobics, people who are just racist assholes. Mm-hmm. They are very vocal as well. And they'll spread their stuff everywhere. And then you start like pulling on that thread and following something, and you go in to see what they post and go, oh my goodness, what a incredible perception they have of the humankind. Yeah. And it's so far from like how my life is. So, but I haven't done that in a long while, because last time it really made me go, what?
Yeah,
there are people who are like this and not just like a fictive character. Because these people say things like that from out of books where you go, oh.
1 second.
Fancy boy.
He's got his pillow. He can't put his head on it. So I'm gonna make it so he can put his head on it. I've seen in a long while. So Clive is trying to lie on his pillow. And I'll just pan the camera so I can see him trying to put his head on the pillow, and just that look of defeat and acceptance going, oh, there you go. Please excuse my vacuum.
He looks so very, very distinguished with those eyes, just looking to the distance going, yes.
Anyway. He's like a
Clive would never be an asshole.
No. But yeah, sorry. Momentary dog distraction. But yeah, I agree. I find that when it just gets too real for me at that point, and also that I think we talked about this maybe on our first or second episode, that I'm just not one of those people that can just state a hot and spicy opinion on Twitter and then fight for myself. I don't have that willpower. No. And I find that a lot of the people who do have that willpower are those people that have those crappy opinions. Yeah. And I don't have the fortitude to argue. And I know that arguing isn't going to change their opinion. I know that there's nothing I can do. And that feeling of hopelessness, that is the doom for me. Yeah. That is the doom scroll feeling. And so I just don't do it.
It's very nice that we have a platform where we can spread like the message of kindness and like being human. That we both have streams and we have people who are in there who are kind to each other. Like my only rule in my chat is be kind to each other, and try to argue in good faith. Yeah. And that is it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I try. And that has worked so far.
Yeah, I very rarely have issues in my chat, like very, very rarely. So it's nice, but I think it does come down to, we are not assholes as far as I can tell. And
from our perspective, no.
Yeah, as far as we would like to know, we're fine. But I think that, if people come, it's that same thing of like attracting like in a way where like if someone were to come in with like a big hot spicy opinion, our chats would shut it down and it wouldn't be allowed to happen, and that person wouldn't feel welcome, and so they wouldn't come back. And people can really easily and quickly see what we're about in our chats.
I just had a flashback to one of your streams when there was someone who came in who asked, can I just say something? And I think Ghost said, yeah, of course you can say something unless it's something like religious. And it took like a half second and they posted something like they copy pasted something and Ghost immediately just went, oh, no, banhammer.
I don't think I even got to read it.
I think I saw I saw the glimpse of a paragraph and then it was gone.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even read it, but it's a shame that assholes are so loud. Why? Why are you so loud?
I used the quote from The Office the other week with "How dare you?" But how dare you? Where do you get off, sir? But just coming into some stream going, let's talk about this. No, you're. No. There was someone trying to pick a fight with Pine. That was incredible today. Someone tried to pick a fight with Pine Ranch, going like, should I one versus one you? And Pine went, this is, you just respect me or you're out. Those are the rules. And this was just
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Nice. Like
about what?
Pine asked him to keep the chat in English. And this person said, well, you don't have to tell me what to do. I said, well,
yes, I do.
Yeah, because we can't moderate the chat if we don't know the language.
Yeah.
Like in my chat, Swedish is okay. We prefer if you use English. Mm-hmm. Because it gives us a chance to moderate.
Yeah.
But this wasn't flying. So.
Yeah. I think in my chat, you're allowed to you can use French and you can use English. And that's it. Because I can read it. Do you have to use
rustic French or do you...
Oh man, only rustic French. Otherwise, I won't be able to understand it. Yeah. I do like that quote got quoted, but you were the one who said rustic French in the first place, and that I was just playing off of what you said.
No.
But we've had that too, and we've had people even go so far as to be like, "Oh, well, that's racist not to let me speak in my language," and it's like. I can't. What is the point of writing in a chat in a language that A, the chat doesn't understand for the most part, and B, that the streamer doesn't understand? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not saying that you can't speak that language.
It's just that here
why
we
speak it somewhere where no one else understands it?
Especially when it's your stream. It's not a public place. It's not like a Wendy's where we're like, can you stop talking here? No, it's so weird.
And I think that there is this issue of freedom of speech that people misinterpret.
Yeah.
Of like, freedom of speech means that I can say whatever I want. It's like, yeah, you can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to let you say it here. Yeah. I don't have to let you say things here. I don't have to give you a platform. It's not freedom of platform. Free to not be prosecuted. It's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not. I'm not encroaching on your rights to say what you want.
Yeah.
You can say what you want. You just can't say it here.
Yeah. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think of what's the Wendy's
of Sweden?
I want to say like Big Mac, but that's McDonald's, and I want to say Whopper, but I think that's Burger King. What is Wendy's burger called?
We don't have Wendy's in Sweden.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You made a Wendy's reference. It made me
I know, but it's because I'm fully saturated with American memes and pop culture. We don't have any. Oh, we have a lot of Swedish memes as well.
I think a Wendy's burger is just called a Wendy's burger.
A Wendy's burger. It's
not called a special thing.
Yeah, we're very lacking in the fast food department in Sweden.
I'm not a big fast food person.
You would be bigger if you ate more fast food.
That was good. That was clever. Yeah. I would like to congratulate us both on treading careful waters and circling back and being okay. I think we got in and out of that pretty well.
Yeah. High
for
risk,
two mildly
small
spicy people. Yeah, very high risk. So I think this actually is a decent segue into a question that we got.
Oh.
Let me just pull it up so that I can word it properly.
Properly?
Properly. Where is
that sounds like a name.
Thing? It does. So it's kind of a question and it's kind of just like a thought, but I think it's worth discussing. Which is that like as musicians / streamers / as like public figures, there's a lot written about us by other people. Whereas most people only have a vague notion of what other people think about them and how people perceive them. We have a better idea of how people kind of perceive us. Does that change how you feel about yourself, and does that change how you feel about your songwriting? Like, I would even go so far as to say, like, has it altered your own perception of yourself?
It is a very good question. I guess it influences my songwriting in that people now know me. Like the people you perform for are people who see you regularly. You're not, It's not a one-off encounter where they come to one of your gigs. This is now a very like close contact with the people who listen to you.
Yeah.
And it feels so weird to say you're fans. Because fans sounds like a very one-way term. Community members. And you want to write songs that are good, or that are not in conflict with how they perceive you.
Yeah.
There are like topics I don't want to write about anymore. Also because of age. Like the rock and roll lifestyle of Mr. Young Elfving isn't that applicable to me anymore. And it would be weird to write songs romanticizing about those kind of things. So I guess in that way, and also not the will to upset people. Do you also struggle with that with songwriting in general? Like not writing, because I know we talked about this, or you talked about this on stream, about the song that someone thought was about them.
Oh my God.
Because that is also like one of the risks that people go, so is this song about me? No, it's fictive.
So I have been called out multiple times about writing songs for other people or like about other people. But I think I was watching Charlie Acourt. Charlie plays guitars.
Oh, yeah.
He's another amazing streamer. And he was saying that as a songwriter, people have to enter into your life knowing that you're a songwriter. Like if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, have a friendship with someone who's a songwriter, there is a high chance that at some point, something about your relationship is going to end up in a song. And I think that's very true. And I've been in the same relationship for 9 years. So like anything that's about heartbreak or love or, you know, like those, well, love obviously still could be present, but like anything about that sort of like relationships, I'm digging myself a hole. But that's all going to be past. It's going to be about previous people. And it's not that difficult to say, okay, here are the previous relationships that you had. Who fits? You know, like what, where, and like the reality is that no song is about one specific person. They're always about an amalgamation of feelings and multiple people. And so when, like I can think of 3 songs that are very specifically about people. One of them is about an ex and 2 of them are about ghost. Lately and the beginning are both very specifically about my partner. They down to like the specific instances that are in the song are moments in our relationship. And so it's so strange. Lately was the song that someone had contacted me, someone that I hadn't even dated, who we'd been like pseudo interested in each other in grade 12, like final year of high school, but we never dated. We hung out once outside of school, and he messaged me to ask if lately a song about loving someone so much that you don't know how to tell them, asking if it was about him, which is wild.
I would like one scoop of that self-confidence, please.
Right?
You could dial back the self-involvement phase of it, but just having that confidence going, yo, you wrote a song.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think so. I think songwriting for me is still very separate from streaming. I think that my public perception doesn't really impact it. I do think when it comes to the style of song that I release, I do try and stick to a style that people expect from me.
Yeah.
Unless I'm collaborating with someone else, in which case I'll veer off. But anything that I'm releasing under my own name, there's a certain expectation for style, but I don't think content-wise I think about it very much. I did write a song called Boxes, which was specifically about not knowing what people thought of me or who I was in people's minds, and just trying to be like, okay, I want to be the person that you like. And what do I have to do to be that? And it's kind of like each verse is about, I was thinking about it in literature, like when you read a book and they describe a character and the character fits into one of these archetypes. And so I kind of just put 3 of these archetypes into the song. And it's like, I always see myself in many characters. I see aspects of myself in multiple places. And so the idea is that, I don't fit in any of these boxes. I'm not just this person. I'm not just this person. I'm not just this person. I'm bits of all of them at the same time. And I think that if anything, streaming has forced me to really evaluate who I am to other people and how I appear to other people, and also realizing that I can't control who I am to other people, and I can't control what people think of me, and that sucks.
Yeah, that is the roughest part. That you can go, but you should. I'm not like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've cut out a style for myself yet. I just realized that now as we were talking, that I don't think I have a style in which I write or perform yet, because I haven't written that many songs yet. It's going to be fun exploring that. Mm-hmm. I've started 2 new songs today. I'm very happy about that. I've had a little. I wrote this song now that now has a name it's called Nowhere Left to Run, and now I've started 2 new songs, and I'm very happy about it. And just exciting. Coming to the realization that I don't have to finish them in one sitting.
No.
Because I've been having one specific idea for a long time, and I haven't realized how to put it into words or like melody. And today, which is I was showering and went, yes, of course, that's how. Very happy about it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I haven't written anything in a while. I don't know. I started on something. I had a bit of an idea, and then I didn't follow through. I'm very bad at sitting down to write music. That's why Songtober was so good for me, is because it forced me to do it every day. Whereas if I don't push myself to sit down and pick up the guitar, I won't. I won't often play music on days that I'm not streaming, which isn't good. I should be practicing. I should be learning. I should be writing. But I think because October's it is a job. Yeah, I know. I'm going to do it again. I hope that Malin makes a list, because I don't want to make a list, but I'll do it if I have to.
I've been practicing a lot of guitar lately. Yeah, we talked about this last week, that someone came in and asked me to use a metronome. Yeah. And I've been practicing a lot more with a metronome now, but I've been practicing
Is it because of that person, or just because you wanted to do it anyway?
It's because I wanted to do it anyway. It's both. I've been meaning to use my metronome more, but that also spurred me on. Yeah. But now I've been practicing with one finger picking pattern. Mm-hmm. And that has been very, very helpful. So the whole weekend, even though I was anxiety-ridden and just lying on the couch watching The Good Doctor, I was holding my electric guitar unplugged and just playing the same pattern over and over again, just getting that into my fingers and trying it over different chords, which opened up a new pattern or a way in my brain. So that's fun.
And I think that there is something to be said for living with.
Oh no, okay, sorry.
Well, living with someone and then also knowing that you should be practicing or knowing that you should be doing these other things.
Do I do the dishes?
I don't. Yeah. Well, I just don't like bothering people. I think this is like the second or third time I've said that this stream, but it is like, even though I know Ghost would be fine with it and he encourages me to practice and he encourages me to work on stuff, it's very difficult for me to be like, okay, I'm going to sit in here and I'm going to play this solo and it's going to sound like trash for like the next hour. And it's very, especially like when I'm writing a song and like I mumble lyrics. It's how I write lyrics is I just have to like sing them. I can't play it and then write quietly and then like see if it fits. I have to just like mumble it out and see where it goes. And doing that in earshot of other people is really difficult. And so
it is unfathomable how terrible it sounds when you're practicing a new piece or when you're writing a song. I suddenly go, Theo, have you played a guitar before? Is this your first time holding a guitar? Because it sure sounds that way, buddy. And then
for me, it's like, have you ever written a song before?
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever written a song before. I think those days are behind you. You've never written anything. You'll never write anything ever again.
It's so weird going, but I should be able to practice this. And just like when you're writing a new song going, I should be able to, I think we talked about this before, but like having to practice what you've written.
Yeah.
That just because you're finished writing the song doesn't mean you know it.
Yeah.
And also, I think a little curveball from your brain going, no, now you've made it. Now you learn it and then you live it.
Yeah. And then, at least for me, if I write something that has like personal lyrics, then I have to take that and play it to people a bunch in order for it to lose its personal jab. Yeah. Otherwise, I will feel that personal jab every time I play it, and that's not sustainable. Yeah. It's too many spoons. Too many spoons for a song. Man. Yeah. So I have a very bad habit where if I play someone a new song, one of two things will happen.
No.
If they, have a mediocre response to it, I will never play that song ever again. 2, if they like it, but they don't seem to like it that much, I will never play the song again.
What?
Or I'll consider the song done, but then I won't remember to pick it back up again. It's like I need to not play it to people for like a good amount of time before I show it to someone, because for some reason in my head, if I write a song and then right away I'm like, hey, Ghost, listen to this song, I'll play him the song, and it doesn't even matter really what his reaction is. I'm like, okay, wrote a song, check mark, and then I just never go back to it. I don't understand what that is in my brain, but it's just like to the point where I will forget that I even wrote it. Someone will have a negative reaction to a song or like a mediocre reaction to a song, and it just, my brain is like, okay, we're just gonna not think about that song ever again.
That didn't happen. Yeah. No, I don't. No. If I've written half a verse, I'll proudly, like a child, I made this. Look, everyone, look what I made.
No, I have to have it like done. I have to feel good about it first, and then try and make my brain not erase it.
That was the weirdest sensation ever when I played my new song for Fel for the first time. Because I'd sat here at the table and wrote it during the night, and I hadn't sung the whole thing through. I'd just written down like the phrases. I sung the first part of the song, and I'd written down the phrases. I'd never sung it in entirety. And then I played it for Fel at the kitchen table, which was super duper weird, playing a whole song without having played it before. And like having... Yes. It felt like singing someone else's song, because I'd never sung it whilst writing it. It was incredible. Alanna is right now getting a cup of coffee from a ghost.
Yes.
There just came a white sheet floating in with coffee.
Yeah, no, that is a very strange feeling, and it's always difficult to show people songs for the first time, no matter what.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I guess for me, less for you, but for me.
Well, even for me, it was gut wrenching. And when I played Thunder for the first time, I was going, this is something I wrote like recently. So weird.
Yeah. It always feels very strange. Like Little Dreamer is an anomaly for me because normally, so like I wrote Little Dreamer this year.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, I wrote Little Dreamer. And this song that's coming out in September called The Beginning is a song from years ago that I've been playing for a very long time. And that's much more common, is that I release something much later after I've had it for a while. And then it hasn't been released, and then it comes out. And so like,
well, I guess that's a good practice as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I'm very happy with both songs. I think
you are
that, like,
releasing amazing songs. So whatever you're doing, it seems to be working.
Thanks.
And I guess it
the
might
next
be
one
like
comes out in September, so that's exciting.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, will there be a pre-save link somewhere, perhaps?
Yes, there will. Soon. I just got the pre-save link today. So.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah.
It's the 10th of August. Yeah. September is just right around the bend.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, we're a month away from the release. The release is on September the 8th.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Is this where we segue into the round off? Because I think we've been talking again for a little while.
I need to go vacuum my car.
What?
So
that sounded like the world's worst excuse.
I know. I'm so sorry. I gotta go vacuum my car. I literally do though. I haven't in far too long, to the point where I have pine needles in my trunk.
Is it because of Pine Branch?
Nope. It's because there was once a Christmas tree in my car.
Oh, I see.
It's August.
I usually use the excuse, no, I have laundry drying in the oven when I need to get out of stuff. It gives you some weird looks.
Yeah, it's fine. I have to go to the post office and I need to go vacuum my car. And to be clear, I have vacuumed other parts of my car, but I have not done the trunk or the back seat because no one's been in the trunk or the back seat except for me because of COVID.
I'm also very glad that no one's been in the trunk. I need to vacuum. It was a weird week and I had 5 people in the trunk. It's been wild.
I used to.
What?
And this is so bad when I think back to it, but it's such a like 90s, like early 2000s thing. I have ridden in the trunk of my parents' car as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
On a number of occasions. And I'm pretty sure it was mainly my dad who would let it happen more than my mom would. But like if we were going to the theater and my dad was like, okay, yeah, we'll drive some kids home, but we didn't have enough seats in the car, I would just go in the trunk. 0% safe.
That is exactly 0% safe.
More than, a lot. It happened enough times that I didn't like blink my eye at it.
I think I've ridden in the trunk twice.
It's a weird time. Mainly because I would always be scared that like the cops would see, so I would like lay down in the back. Have I done it as an adult? I've ridden the back of like a pickup truck as an adult, but not not in the trunk of a car.
We went to a hillbilly party, not knowing it was a hillbilly party. My friend said, "Oh, we can take the train to a place, and then we can just walk. It will be just like a 10-minute walk." It was 6 kilometers from the train station to the party. So that was
that's like a 45-minute walk.
Yeah, that was a nice hike.
Yeah.
And then we showed up, and they had only moonshine to drink that they made themselves. And they offered us, or we could also buy like 24 beers for 500 kroner, which is $50. That is very expensive for beer.
Yeah.
So we said no. And then the lady who had the party went, I can drive you back to the train station. And then I had to ride in the trunk because there was no room in the car. That was a fun time.
There you go. This was lovely. Thank you for chatting with me today. Sorry, we were segueing out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what was happening.
Yeah.
We also had the suggestion of setting up a link tree with our social links and stuff, so we only have to link one thing at the end of the podcast.
Oh.
I have not done that yet, but I will do that. But until then, I'm Alanna Matty on all platforms except for Instagram. Instagram, I am Alanna W. Matty.
I am Theodor Elfving on all platforms.
Perfect.
I'm going to add a W on Instagram as well.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Do you know why I have a W in my name and for my Instagram?
No, why do you have a name in your name? Why do you have a W in your name?
It's for my middle name. Do you know what my middle name is?
No. What is your middle name?
Oh, it's a mystery now.
Is it cliffhanger for next week?
Bom, bom, bom.
Dun,
Sure.
dun,
We'll see if we
dun.
remember it. You can think about it. If you have viewer guesses, you can post it in either of our Discords and let me know what you think my middle name is. If you know,
this is Scout's promise for you
from
guys.
previous times, you are not allowed to say if they got it right or not. It's only people who are guessing for the first time.
Do you think I would be able to guess it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
It could be like Wilma and not Varishma.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
Okay.
It is not a Canadian name.
It is not a Canadian name.
I'll say that. It comes from
Good, because I don't know any
my
Canadian names.
European heritage. I don't even know what a Canadian name would be either. I was thinking I
was thinking Scott, but that is a terrible middle name for a woman. It sounds like a Canadian. No? Justin is also a Canadian. Neil as well?
That's obviously, yeah, those are all very Canadian names, actually. Very, very good job. Also, apparently, Avril.
What? Admiral?
Ryan, very Canadian name.
Ryan,
yeah.
Ryan that sounds very, very Canada friendly.
Yeah.
Danny,
okay, so you can
Hamilton.
guess.
Yeah,
You can figure it out.
You can figure
Thank you for podcasting with me as always.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was very excited. I forgot that we were doing this today, and then I remember this morning, and I was like, yes, we can do a podcast today.
It's so much fun talking to you.
It is.
I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. This has been Mostly Finished Thoughts.
Goodbye.